That's Rage Against the Machine on the show. It's Rock 105.3. It is Free Comedy Friday, and it's always going to be a good Free Comedy Friday when Heather McDonald is in town. Right. We love having Heather on with us and back in studio. Heather, you're the best.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I agree.
She's performing this weekend at the American Comedy Company, which I have massive questions about your Sunday show, which we'll get into in just a second, because it's a big deal. There's a big thing going on Sunday as well. So we'll talk about that in a second. But we're happy to have you in town. It's a beautiful weekend out here in San Diego. Yeah. You can't beat it. It's in the 80s. I brought
my bikinis.
Isn't that crazy? It's November.
Yeah.
And you're
the world is ending. That's why you should just go see stand-up this weekend. Enjoy every day like it's your last.
Amen,
just have some fun and escape.
Amen, sister.
There we go. Enjoy this weird 80s weather.
Yes.
and have some fun in the 80s.
There's no climate change, though. Nobody's worried about that.
No, it's just fun.
It's just fine. I know it's November.
Just a little switcheroo. Yeah.
Now, so you're going to hit the hotel pool?
I'll hit the hotel pool because I'm at the hotel. You were telling me that you like to sneak into hotels.
Yeah, Emily does this.
Like a whore.
Yeah, I am. I'm a hotel whore.
And I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Because that kind of stuff when I was younger and in college and we couldn't afford it, that would really stress me out being caught.
Oh.
And so I don't like anything. And I said one day I'll be able to afford the hotel pool that I really want to go to, and then I can give my room number.
She's been caught. She's like a person came up to her, asked her for her hotel key, and she didn't have it. Can you imagine?
Did you ever see that movie about the two girls that went to the Taiwanese fancy hotel and they charged all this stuff to this room and they ended up in the jail?
Oh my God!
What was that? Claire Danes? What are we talking about?
Yes,
I remember.
Claire Danes. That's what she did.
And then you get a roach in your ear.
She went to the hotel pool. She was not allowed to go in.
Shush.
It's going to be you.
So
Emily.
I can never do that in Taiwan.
But she also smuggled drugs as well.
Exactly.
Well, that's a side note.
That was a part of the thing, but that's what tipped it off.
Yes.
What started that.
That's right.
No. And then the bug got in her ear.
Oh God.
No, I can't.
But wait a minute. You talked about the Hilton in San Diego.
Yeah.
Well, I asked Heather. I had to know what hotel you were staying at because I know all about all the hotel pools.
Yeah,
and I said, here's the top tip. The Hilton Bayfront downtown is beautiful. Vanishing Edge pool right on the water.
Oh.
Hot tip.
Okay.
Hot tip for
but if I'm not staying there, I really shouldn't be being that person.
Agreed.
Depends on who you're asking.
That comes fully dressed and then goes into the bathroom and comes out.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Brings her own bottle of wine in her bag.
All of it.
Emily does.
That's exactly what I do.
That is.
Yeah.
I mean, you are living life on the edge. Okay, but this is the story about that. Okay, I've been married for 18 years. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And my husband is from San Diego.
Oh.
Yes.
Great guy.
He was a lifeguard in Oceanside, which basically he acts like that made him a Navy SEAL. Like anytime he was
So true.
dangerous
Wow.
or with my boys, I'm like, I don't know if you should do it. He's like, please. I was a lifeguard in Oceanside. I'm like, you reminded people to put sunscreen on. Like, I don't think that's you didn't save 12 kids out of a Taiwanese cave.
No, not at all.
I don't,
Not at all.
So anyway, we went on a date, okay, and first we met.
Yeah.
I was on a date with someone else, and then I saw him, and it was like a setup. I knew he was going to be there, so I blew off my date, went home with him, made out with him.
Wow.
Made out,
Scandalous.
full dry humping, okay?
my
No
God.
sex, okay?
Oh.
Then next date, very, very hot and heavy.
Okay.
And he goes, next weekend, he was like in the corporate world then, I have this weekend at the Hilton in San Diego.
Okay.
Oh.
Would you like to come? Like it was like he won something and it was going to expire if you didn't use it that way.
Yeah.
My husband's very cheap anyway, but I didn't see the red flags back then. I thought it was nice.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, oh my God. And I call my best girlfriend, who's still my best friend today. And I go, he asked me to go to the Hilton. And she goes, you know what, Heather? If you're going to be his wife one day, you have the rest of your life to go to the Hilton in San Diego. But if you go too soon and sleep with him too soon, it's not going to work out. I go, you're right. So I call him up and I go, I'm just not comfortable going to the Hilton in San Diego with you. But if you want to do it or go with someone else, he goes, no. And he let it go. That was the last time he ever let a deal slip through his hands. Ever! Later on, he would call me and be like, "You want to have dinner?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm really hungry. Let's meet like 5:45." And I was like, 5:45? And I'm driving. And I'm like, "I'm on the 405. I don't think I'm going to get there in time." He's like, "Hurry!" I didn't realize it was like an old person place. You had to get that prefixed meal. Before 6 o'clock. All those things.
I love this guy.
Just thought he was super. Like, this guy is so horny for me. Like, this is amazing. You planned out this. So
I
anyway, I have yet to go to the Hilton in San Diego.
Oh, wow.
My friend said I have the rest of my life to go to the Hilton in San Diego. I have never gone to if someone works at the Hilton in San Diego and you would like to invite me for the afternoon, you don't have to do any illegal stuff and end up in San Diego jail.
Just come with me. It's okay.
Yeah, Emily has the
okay.
Yes.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to see Heather performing this weekend at the American Comedy Company tonight, tomorrow night, and on Sunday.
And hilarious Chris Frangella, who's always
he's our boy.
Yes,
we love Chris. He comes in all the time.
So he's performing tonight and tomorrow on all those shows too. So you're getting like 2 major headliners for just
true.
Of one delight.
It's unbelievable. Chris, last time he was in, we found out he basically went to the same high school that Thor went
grew up
to.
like right near each other.
And they were
in
both
New York?
Yes,
yeah,
they're both from Long Island, and they were
yeah.
both mad that neither one of them are in their high school's Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And Chris, he like threw a fit about it. He was really mad.
I think that is something to be mad about.
Really, you think?
Because I went to an all-girl Catholic high school called Louisville.
That explains a lot. That explains a lot.
Wow.
And my stepdaughter graduated from there.
Okay.
I was just saying to my friend, I go, when I was at the school, I said, one day they will ask me to do the commencement speech.
Oh, there you go.
okay.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it has not happened yet.
Wow.
I swear
Really?
to God, I really did. I mean, like, even as like a 15-year-old at the school, I'm like, one day they're going to ask me, because they had this one actress that was on this show called It's a Living about waitresses that worked at an airport, and she had gone to our school, so she got to do the commencement speech.
So
I'm
you're
like,
thinking,
I mean, I think I've surpassed the sitcom about the waitresses.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, what is happening? But this is what happened. I wrote this book called My Inappropriate Life. First, I wrote the first book, which was You'll Never Blue Ball in This Town Again.
Right.
And then I wrote My Inappropriate Life.
Yeah.
And it was a little edgy, but still, it was very pro Louisville. It was very pro my Catholic background.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that the subtitle that my editor came up with, like, not appropriate for children, mature adults, or nuns. And we still had some nuns. We still have some nuns in the school.
Wow.
So when I was, like, trying to give the book away as, like, a charity event or something, they're like, oh, we're going to return it. It's not appropriate. And then every year that my husband put the golf tournament together, he kept pushing my product and me, and I'm like, stop. And they finally wrote this letter. They're like, Peter, this is the 8th time we've told you, like, you cannot be associated with your wife's brand.
Oh.
Can you please stop?
You're too dirty.
Come
but
on.
I would still push my all Catholic school, even though they don't want me. They don't want
lame.
But yeah, why am I not?
You should be. No question about
My
it.
sorority, I'm in the stars of my sorority.
Oh,
yes.
look at you.
Gamma Phi Beta USC. And they say myself and Kristen Chenoweth, but she's the bigger one.
What?
They all know about Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah.
Did you go to school with her? Do you know her?
No, but I did meet her, and she was a real delight.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
And just the nicest person. But yeah, so I don't know.
Man.
Yeah,
But
Thor's still working on
Maybe
it.
there's
Still
another
working on it.
school that would like me to give.
There you go.
a commencement speech.
Maybe locally.
I don't
We can
have
figure
to
it
do
out.
my own.
We'll figure it out. for you.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's a good idea.
Last time you were in town, Heather,
Yes.
it was you had an explosive appearance on our show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where
I did.
we talked a lot about the Me Too movement and your
God,
history
real
with it.
juicy.
It was good stuff.
Yeah.
And we talked about Louis C.K. and his business and stuff like that. Well, since then,
Oh yeah.
Thor went to New York.
harassed?
No,
By Louis
he
CK.
was like Louis C.K. No. He went to New York and went to the Comedy Cellar, and guess who rolls in?
Yeah.
You were there that night.
He was there.
Let's hear about it.
So my girlfriend is a massive Louis C.K. fan.
Okay.
Even now,
Even now, yeah.
doesn't bother her.
I explained it to her in a way where she kind of she's blinded by his stand-up.
Listen, for the last 10 years, when people would say, "Who are your favorite comics?" which comics always get asked, he was one of the three that I mentioned. Because I loved his stand-up, I loved his show, and I loved how prolific he was.
Sure.
How new hour every year.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with that.
Okay.
So she was like, I hope he shows up. I hope he shows up. Because he had showed up.
She was secreting it.
Yeah.
She was rubbing one out on me.
Really
In front
was.
of you. She's like, do you mind if I masturbate and get in the Uber to the club?
Oh,
Because
my
I'm
God.
thinking about Louis C.K.
Oh,
going
that's
up.
so weird.
I'm asking you, so I hope you don't mind that my badge is out.
Me and the Uber driver were like, go for it. We don't care.
Yeah.
And
Whatever
we get,
makes you happy.
yeah, we get to the Comedy
Thank you for
Cellar.
asking.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe how small it was. And then at the very end, security's everywhere. They announce, hey, no cell phones, no heckling. If you don't like what's going on, leave. So then we start thinking, well, somebody's going to show up. And then out of nowhere, Louis walks right in front of me and goes on stage. And I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. My girlfriend loses her mind. She's the only one clapping. Astounded. clapping.
Standing up.
She's
screaming.
standing up, screaming, "Go, Louis!" Yeah. I was embarrassed.
You probably use that image
You're
later.
like, I'm a feminist.
Yeah, a hot blonde standing up.
Right? Oh my God.
So he starts doing his act, and there's security everywhere. And
Did people get up and leave?
2 or 3 people got up. It was 2 girls, and then I think their boyfriends got up and
Oh,
left.
they had to.
Yes, I think
They were holding the
But
purse.
for the most part, everyone stayed, and he immediately started talking
Well, how
about...
could you not want to stay? Just for the juiciness
Right,
of it, I would
right?
stay. Yeah.
So he immediately starts talking about what happened.
Okay.
And starts joking. He starts making jokes like how he feels like now he understands how a black man felt in America in the 60s because he'll just walk into a place and know he can't be there. He talks about how he was selling a Massacre card and now he's getting booed in the streets. And it was pretty funny. And then he said, "Do you mind if I tell some jokes?" And everybody said, "Yeah." And he told new material. And it was only 10 to 12 minutes and then he left. And that's
crazy.
It was
Okay,
pretty
this
nuts.
is what I think of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
First of all, he has absolutely every right to go and do stand-up.
Yeah,
A
of
club
course.
has every right
Okay.
to book him. If they think that's going to be a profitable weekend, they have every right to do that.
Okay.
That's America,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
But what I realized is I don't think he's that talented.
Wow.
Because every
What?
bit of his act over the last 20 years has been sexually driven. It's about how he, his wife gives the laziest hand job and all that stuff. And woe is me. And you'd watch it as a girl and you're like, I know you're kind of not a cute redhead and you're kind of fat, but I would give you a hand job. Why is your wife such a bitch? Like, that's what you would watch
God.
thinking that.
Yeah.
And so, when I watched that, and when I also watched the most disturbing movie ever, which came out right before the scandal, called "I Love You, Daddy," which was his Woody Allen moment.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah.
wrote it. He starred in it, and he surrounded himself. He wrote the whole thing, and all the characters around him were awful, immoral, disgusting people, and he was the moral fiber of the movie. Yet he wrote every line, and it was about a girl who was 17 that wanted to be with a much older man, and he wrote it in a way so that the audience would be like, well, God, if the girl really wants. Like, seriously.
Oh,
and they took the movie off for that reason.
Yeah.
So
I got a
he's
screener.
justifying what he's doing. you
Absolutely
think?
been
Yeah,
justifying it his whole life.
Wow.
And so, besides the fact that what really pissed me off is, I believe he actively deterred these girls' careers.
Yeah.
Because he did not want them to be in a writer room where you tell these juicy stories, which happens in a writer room. Everyone tells their stories.
Yeah.
So the minute they started to tell it, people would be like, hey, those girls are telling that story like Louis,
Yeah.
And it hurt them. So, and then with Sarah Silverman saying, Louis and I, we used to, jack off together. And I was like, that's not okay. Like that, you like someone enabled it to a point,
justifying
and
it.
you justified it like he asked, and I thought it was his freaky stuff. But those girls never asked. He did it, and then when it happened with the girl on the TV show that they were all working on, they said, "We will shut down the show." Rebecca Corey, would you like us to shut down the whole show? Would you like everyone to go home and not have a job and end this series? Would you like that? Because we'll do that. Because we'll do that.
Oh.
Gross.
And so, of course, she's like, no, I don't want that. But, I'm really freaked out that he came up and asked me.
Yeah.
And so it's all of that I love that's exposed. But my point is, he is not Jim Gaffigan that can write a new hour of clean material every year.
Oh.
As a comedian who, I have some clean stuff, I have some dirty stuff, it is easier to write the dirty. It really is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all he's done. So I want to see if you can write a clean hour that's absolutely hysterical. Well, not clean necessarily, but not about sex.
Yeah.
I don't think he can.
Interesting.
Wow.
It was really interesting you said
Yeah.
that because a lot of the new stuff that I heard that he was trying out was all sex driven.
Huh.
And
That's all he
and
knows.
it's funny that you said that. I
Because
didn't
he's a
realize.
pervert.
How wild.
Yeah.
He's a sexual deviant pervert. I mean,
Wow.
he is.
Man.
Wow, you got to see Heather this weekend at the American Comedy Company. She's got a lot
I'm
to
pretty
say.
sexual too, but
Yeah.
I don't ask to masturbate in front of people.
Yeah.
Yet. Now, who knows what's going to happen this weekend?
No, anything to get you into the club, guys.
Now,
Sweet.
I'm really excited about what's happening on Sunday.
Yes.
Because you have the podcast, the Juicy Scoop.
Which I've been doing for 3 years, and now I'll do like a weekend of stand-up, and then a totally different show, so you can go to both. And then that's my live Juicy Scoop, and we throw up photos, and I make fun of things, and
Yeah.
then I have a very special
It's
guest.
great. Your special guest is who I'm interested in.
Who
Because,
is it?
listen,
Who is it?
not
Who
that I'm
is
not
it?
interested in you, but I love The Bachelor. I love The Bachelor. I love The Bachelorette. I watch Bachelor in Paradise.
Awesome.
So does Thor.
Love it.
And so
Really?
the girls don't.
We don't.
The girls
We don't.
Never seen it.
Just-
Never
We
seen
do.
it, Heather.
Huge fan.
And you are going to have Nick Vial.
Vial. The one of the most famous bachelors, been on the most,
Is he
done the
still
most
with
Yes,
episodes.
yes.
No,
Oh no,
he's
no,
single.
they're long broken up.
What?
He is single and ready to mingle.
This is
Like,
hysterical.
Yes.
And so you are going to
So
have
he
him
came
on.
on my show as just a regular guest,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed him.
Sure.
And then I was like, you know what? I have so many questions. Let's count him on the live show. He's got a great personality. He's fun. He said he'll answer anything.
That's
I said,
awesome.
is there anything off limits?
Get him,
and he's
Heather.
like, no. And the audience can ask questions, and I've got
killer.
prepared
Awesome.
questions that I've collected from social media and
Oh, that's
my
great.
own, of course. And then we'll do some fun stuff, and then I'll do all my other fun things. I do all the impressions of the housewives and stuff on the
Amazing.
live shows.
So that's happening
yeah.
on Sunday.
Yes.
Fantastic.
On Sunday at 7.
Oh,
and
cool.
so that show, get those. Everybody has to get their tickets today. 'Cause
Yeah.
they are selling quickly. Thank
Okay.
goodness. Yes.
Well, Heather, always fun having you
Oh,
in here.
yes.
Good luck this weekend at the
Yeah.
American
Thank
Comedy
you.
Company, and always a
and the
blast.
Hilton, let me know.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the Hilton.
Get her in there.
Yeah.
Get her in there.
Come
I'm
on.
gonna have my husband come down. We're gonna get that,
Do
that
it.
boat
Yeah.
that we were supposed to get in.
We really need
18
to.
years ago.
Right?
Yeah.
No more
Just
dry
don't-
humping?
Yeah.
He won't dry hump with me.
Oh.
That's the worst part about
Come on.
getting married, or even in a
Yeah.
relationship. You only get to dry hump
In the
date
beginning.
1 and 2.
Yeah. So true.
And then you don't put out by 3, you never hear from them again. You
So
have
true.
2 days
That's the rules.
to dry hump legally.
These
Yes.
are all facts. These are all facts.
They are all facts,
Thanks,
yes.
Heather.
Thank you.
When we get back, we're going to talk to the local teen who was attacked by the shark last month.
Yeah.
He's going to be on our show when we get back.